The brand manager is responsible for managing and developing the visibility of one or more brands across all physical and online media. Their scope of action is therefore multi-channel, utilizing all monitoring tools and e-reputation management techniques, including social networks. They ensure that the brand remains consistent with the company's overall strategy. The proliferation of social networks and digital platforms has led brand managers to be even more vigilant about how brand identity is conveyed through content. As a result, their job description has evolved to include roles similar to content manager or digital content manager, which involve, among other things, monitoring competitors and analyzing consumer behavior. This is done to sense market trends, but also to conduct trend analysis, keep track of developments in storytelling and communication within their sector and geographic area, as well as to gather product-related information and create a content bank. Additionally, they must define an editorial strategy tailored to the client's needs and finally, ensure that all content remains consistent with the overall brand strategy. Let's take the fictional example of the Lyon-based Chocolatier Voisin, who has just hired you as a brand content manager to successfully carry out their digital transformation. How should you proceed? First, you will conduct a digital assessment of the company by analyzing its presence across all digital channels. On which social networks is the company present? For what reasons and with what impact? The answers that come from this analysis will help identify the strengths and areas for improvement for a company on its social networks. It can also be useful to benchmark the social networks of competitors when developing a new online brand strategy, from Sèvres to Bouillet, including Philippe Ebel and Bernachon. And then, in a second phase, you will of course create online editorial content that builds on the Lyon-based cultural heritage of the Voisin company and that follows the main rules of storytelling, namely adopting a coherent approach, committing to the medium and long term, telling a credible story, and also adapting to the recipient's codes. As you will have understood, in practice, the brand manager is often required to combine their role with that of social media manager and community manager. With the rise of digital technology, it is becoming increasingly difficult to control brand communication. Problems with e-reputation are multiplying. This highlights the vital need to actively interact with your target audience across various social networks and to successfully unite them into a loyal community around your brand.